Welcome back to AW Trading Cards. Today we're going to do a video on our collection of slivers. Yes, I am kind of behind the times in the amount of slivers that are possible out there in the world right now, but I figured I would share anyway with what I have. If anybody wants to do some trades or has some to sell or whatnot in the way of slivers, I have no problems taking some of them off your hands to fill this binder. So I figure, hey, why not? Let's get started with the wonderful slivers we've got here. I'm not 100% sure the best way to view this. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it as high as we are. There seems to be a little more of a glare on here. Okay, well, we'll try that one. Okay, the first one here is the constructing sliver. Slivers creatures you have. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. That's a pretty strong, it sounds like an enchantment all in one, but any sliver that comes on the board does that? Okay, sure. I guess this is the reason why slivers are so strong. You got the enduring sliver, which is the one here. It goes outlast 2. 2 and then tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Outlast only as a sorcery. And then it also says other slivers creatures you control have outlast 2. Okay. Seems reasonable. The next one here, it says first sliver chosen. It comes slivered creatures you control have exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on top until end of turn for instant. For each instance of exile among permanents you control. I'm still not understanding that one too much. Maybe somebody else can give me a little bit more insight. As you can see, I'm trying to do 4 of each of the slivers, and that represents one up at the top is Hive Stirrings. It's basically put 2 1/1 colorless sliver creature tokens onto the battlefield. Okay, easy blocking creatures, or could make things really dangerous. The next one here is Lancer Slivers. It gives sliver creatures you control have first strike. The Sentinel Sliver here gives your creatures, your sliver creatures vigilance. No problem. Hey, why not? Then we're going to continue on to the Steel Form Sliver. Slivers you control get +0/+1. Another version of the Lancer Sliver is the older version, Talon Sliver. Talon Sliver gives, it says all slivers gain first strike, not just slivers you control. So these are a little bit better than these if you're playing someone else who has slivers in their deck as well. But just like the Watcher Sliver here, it says all slivers get +0/+2, which is kind of a bummer when you're playing against somebody. But that's, hey, look, we got blank pages. On to the blue. Next one here is the Diffusion Sliver. It says when a sliver creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless a controller pays 2. Colorless. And I'm silly, I've got Diffusion Sliver here, Diffusion Sliver here. Why I did that, I don't know. Then we got Screeching Sliver. All slivers have tap. Target player puts the top card of his library into his graveyard. Okay. This one over here doesn't seem to showing up very good here. Let's do this. So let's drop this down and see if we can get these in to show a little bit better. Scuttling Sliver says sliver creatures you control have tap 2, untap this creature. Okay. Then we've got Shadow Sliver. All slivers have shadow. Next, Synchronous Sliver. All slivers have vigilance. And we go over here to Tectonic. All slivers have tap target permanent. Okay. And then we win slivers. All slivers gain first strike. Blank pages, blank pages. On to black. This one seems to be one of the better ones that people have been playing, because all slivers have sacrifice this creature and add 2 black to your mana pool. That seems reasonable if you want to play one of those bigger creatures and that sort of thing. This one here, Dragonscape Sliver. Each Sliver creature card in your graveyard has Unearth 2. Unearth 2. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile at the beginning of your next end step, or it will leave the battlefield on Earth only as a sorcery. Okay, then we got Leeching Slivers. Whenever a sliver you control attacks, defend player lose 1 life. So think if you had 10 slivers out on the board and you decided to attack, that's 10 points of damage right there to your opponent. Seems reasonable. The next one here is Mindlash Sliver. All slivers have tap 1, sacrifice this creature, each player discards a card. That's kind of a boring one. This one here, Spitting Sliver. It says all slivers have first strike. And then we have a Siphon Sliver. Sliver creatures you control have lifelink. Reasonable. Cost 3 to bring out. Sure. I'll help with that deck, no problem. It says, for the Toxin Sliver, whenever a sliver deals combat damage to a creature, destroy creature cannot be regenerated. So it's basically given it Death Touch. Pretty reasonable. I have no issues with that sort of thing. Next one here is Blur Sliver. Slivers creatures you control have haste. Then we've got the Bone Spitter Sliver. Slivers you can all slivers get +2/+0. Okay. Then we have another version of it is Cleaving Sliver. Slivers you control get +2/+0. So if one says all slivers, which is the one here, and then this version of it says slivers you control. So I think the one you control probably would be better than the one giving all slivers. Just like this one. It's an older one. It says all slivers are unaffected by summoning sickness. Heart Sliver. Slivers you control have tap, discard a card, draw a card. So if you get stuck with those cards that you just can't get rid of. Another one here. Hunter Sliver. All slivers have Provoke. When a sliver attacks its controller may have target creature, defending player, control, untap, and block if it's able. Okay. Next one over here. Striking Sliver. All sliver creatures you control have first strike. Seems to be quite a few of them in this. This one here, the two-headed sliver. Slivers have. This creature can't be blocked by except 2 or more creatures. And then they brought this one out. Black Blade Back Sliver. As long as you have no cards in hand, sliver creatures you control have tap this creature, deal 1 damage to the target player or planeswalker. That seems to be pretty strong tapping ability and that sort of thing. If all your slivers have the ability to tap, you can hit your opponent for X number of damage each turn without even attacking. Sliver creatures you control have this creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So there's another one of those ones. Here's another one, Battle Sliver. Slivers you control get +2/+0. So you can make some pretty strong creatures, especially these ones here. I have a foil one. That's my first foil sliver that I've ever gotten, I believe. But the magnetic sliver creatures you control get +3/+3. So that's giving It doesn't give the abilities to all the other ones, but it is bumping your creatures up +3/+3. So I guess that was be 6/6 creatures. These ones here, Slivers you control, get +1/+1. This one's a little bit costlier to bring out. Cost 6. These cost 2. And we have Reflex Sliver. It's the green version of Heart Sliver, I believe. So that all slivers have haste. Let's see here. The next one we've got in our allotment here. It's Temper Sliver. Sliver creatures you control have, when this creature deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Sounds like a Sentry Vampire. Our next one here is the Venom Sliver. Slivers you control have Death Touch. I like the Venom Sliver. I like Death Touch creatures. They're really cool. The next one here, Mana Wealth. Slivers you creatures you control, tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So to put this in here and try to cast your Sliver Queen and that sort of thing, that's pretty decent. Next one here, it's Gemhide Sliver. All slivers have tap, add 1 mana to any color. Okay, so there's 2 of them. That's all slivers and slivers you control. Okay. Ground Shaker Sliver. I like this one. He's expensive. I've got to find another version that, if anybody knows, if there's another sliver out there that gives slivers trample that doesn't cost 7, let me know. I'll probably look for it and see if I can find it first, but blank pages. And then I decided to throw this in here. Door of Destinies. As the door enters battlefield, choose a creature type. So you would actually choose slivers. When you cast a spell of that chosen, put a charge counter on door. Creatures you control of that creature type gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on the door. That's why it's in here. I'll probably use it for any tribal deck that I have. These are just sliver constructs. 2/2, cost 3 to bring out. It's a sliver. It's a sliver. Now on to the good stuff. We have Sliver Hive. Tap, add 1 mana to mana pool. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this way only to cast a sliver spell. Tap 5, tap the land, put a 1/1 colorless sliver creature token onto the battlefield. Activate this ability only if you control a sliver. So if all your slivers are dead, then forget it. Here's one of the better ones. It costs 1 of every color. It's a Sliver Hive Lord. Sliver creatures you control have indestructible. So indestructible means damage and effect to that say destroyed, don't destroy them. Well, that's my collection of slivers. I know there's a lot more out there, but I wanted to share what I had with the world. At the moment, I am looking for more slivers. If anybody cares to trade or that sort of thing, I have thousands and thousands of other cards. I do have doubles or extras, slivers and that sort of thing as well, to trade down the road if anybody's interested. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and smash that like button and subscribe to our channel, and feel free to check out these other videos that are displayed now, because we want you to watch more of our videos. Thanks, and have a good night.